I feel like it's time for a change. Whenever August comes to an end, I always feel the need to get back on track. Summer is ending, and September for me is the month that embodies a fresh start. In this video, I'll share the steps I'm taking to reset my life, set new goals, and kickstart a fresh beginning. Whether you're going back to school or going back to work or simply entering a new month, let's prepare for this new chapter together. So let's get started.
وكتبه ورسله واليوم الآخر والقدر خيره وشره من الله والبعث بعد الموت لا إله إلا الله آمنت بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله واليوم الآخر والقدر خيره وشره من الله والبعث بعد الموت.
So I'll share with you a few of my life resets journal prompts that are going to help me with starting the process of resetting my life and also really reflecting, because I think to reflect is really one of the essential parts of resetting yourself, and I think it's definitely one of the most important parts, but it's also something that you can easily forget about or put to the side because you already feel like you know how you feel about yourself and your life. But that is often not necessarily the case, at least that's what I noticed for myself. So here are the questions I'm going to be answering. First of all, what are you most grateful for in your life right now? I like this question because I like to start off with kind of a gratitude part, because starting with gratitude makes the whole process like have a positive first start, I feel like. Then I also have revisit the goals you set at the start of the year and how do you feel about them now, and are they still relevant for what you want for the upcoming months? And what habits have you built that you'd like to keep, but also what habits have you built that you would like to stop, and what could you replace them with? Then also, what are your hopes for the rest of the year, and what steps can you take to maximize the rest of the year? So basically, what are your hopes and how could you achieve these hopes that you have? So I'll be answering these questions in my journal, and you can definitely follow along with that. So make sure to grab your notebook. I do prefer physically writing also because it's nice to look back at it. I'll share a few of my journal writings, I guess, later. But first also, let's get a drink. Alright, so I think I finished with the writing part. I'll just go briefly over a little bit of what I wrote down. So I won't read what I'm grateful for because it's quite a whole list and also maybe a little bit private, I guess. But when it comes to the goals that I set at the beginning of the year, I set 10 goals for myself, and out of those 10 goals I achieved 3-ish. So I still have a whole lot to go, but I reflected on whether I still find the goals relevant, and I think that most of the goals definitely are still what I feel motivated to do. So I'm not really changing my goals. I'm altering them a little bit by what I think I am capable of achieving, because at the beginning of the year I always am very ambitious. I remember when I set goals for 2023, my goal for the entire year was to become semi-fluent in Arabic, which is crazy. But I'm always so ambitious at the beginning of the year, and then halfway through the year I start to realize, you know, what a human is capable of and just how much discipline I really have. Even though there are more goals left unchecked than checked, I do think that I can still manage to achieve a lot of them, and I also really have the motivation to do it. So I feel like the last months of 2024 are going to be like a sprint, really, where I really want to focus on becoming more disciplined so that I am more capable of achieving the goals that I set for myself, because I'm also kind of done with not achieving the goals that I set for myself. Like, I'm over that.
طويل الشوق يبقى في اغترابي فقير في الحياة من الصبر.
So I just finished with making yet another vision board, because I just love to make them, and they always keep motivating me whenever I open my laptop or whenever I open my phone. So the current vision board has basically my 3 goals in them. I basically have 3 areas in which I have goals right now. So the 3 areas that I have are self-care goals, goals when it comes to the deen, and also goals when it comes to creating YouTube videos.
ومن يأمنك يا دنيا دواهي.
So the next step is, of course, to make sure these goals are clear and achievable. I'll walk you through how I do this by going over one of my goals. So let's consider my well-being goal, which is very simply put that I want to be in great physical and mental shape. But this isn't really clear. So I've been thinking more about it, and for me, being in great physical and mental shape means consistently working out, taking more consideration into what I eat, and ensuring I read and write on a daily basis. So how do I make this achievable? First of all, I know my why. For example, reading and writing keeps me away from mindlessly scrolling. So for my mental well-being, I have to make this a daily habit. And now that I know my why, I can make a weekly and then a daily schedule. And I've learned about myself that I have to make 2. I have to make one that is pretty and one that is adjustable, because daily plans change all the time. And I've learned that I work best with one good-looking weekly overview on my notebook and one changeable agenda on my phone or my laptop. Now my daily schedule has 3 well-being non-negotiables. I want to exercise, I want to read, and I want to journal. And on days where I have lots of motivation, I'll go do an hour-long workout session in the gym. And on days where I have less energy, I can do a 15-minute stretch or yoga session at home. So basically, I leave room for differing energy levels, so that lack of motivation won't prevent me from achieving my goals. This is how I made my goals both clear and achievable. I've outlined the schedule for September, and I feel very motivated to achieving it. But even without the motivation, I know that I have my non-negotiables, and the non-negotiables ensure that I work on my goals every day, even if it's just for 10 minutes.
So today is a new day, and I thought that the best way to end the reset routine is to actually start implementing the little routines or the little habits or the non-negotiables that you have set for yourself. So today I'm going to be doing just that. I'll be ensuring I have a day filled with doing all the non-negotiables that I set for myself and doing it at like an easy pace, so that I'm really like testing out this routine that I have set for myself, and maybe there are even things that I would like to change already in the early phases. So yeah, the last part of this reset routine is to actually start implementing the little routines that I am going to set for myself based on the goals that I have. So one of the goals that I had as well is to really learn more about Islam, and specifically learn more about what is in the Quran, because I read the Quran, but I really think that I should increase my knowledge by looking into what exactly everything means. So that's what I'm going to do now. I have this little juz amma book. So this is the final juz of the Quran. I think this is for people who are trying to memorize the last juz of the Quran, because of course the last juz has the shortest surah, so it's the easiest to try to memorize. And for me personally, I feel like I don't have that many surahs memorized, and that is something that I feel a little bit bad about. So that is one of my goals as well, to memorize more surahs. I think this book is going to help me with that a lot. So yeah, I thought I'm going to just start that process of slowly getting into learning more about the specifics of what is inside the Quran, and also trying to memorize shorter surahs more often. I think I'm actually going to start with Surah Al-Fatiha, and that is of course the main surah, the one that you use most often when praying. And of course I have that one memorized already, but because it's the very first surah that is in the Quran, but also the very first surah that I have memorized when I reverted, I don't know, I have this very specific connection to this specific surah. So even though I already have it memorized and I already know the meaning, I think I just want to really start fresh by starting with this surah, just because it holds such a special place in my heart. And I thought, why not just start at the beginning, and then I can continue with other surahs from the last juz of the Quran. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with something that I already know, but looking at it with fresh eyes, I guess. And then later today I'll be going to the city with my cousin. We're going to have lunch, and yeah, that's also why I started with the home workout, just so that I have that part of the day done already before I'm going to do all the other things.
قد كفاني علم ربي من سؤالي واختياري فدعائي وابتهالي.
Understand that all the wealth that you have is from Allah.
بافتقاري قد كفاني علم ربي من سؤالي واختياري فدعائي.
So I just got home and I remembered I have to water the plants or the flowers outside, because today the weather has been kind of warm, so I don't really want them to die already. So I gotta get them some water, and then afterwards I'm gonna see what I'm gonna do next. So right now I'm heating up my dinner, and I'm gonna spend the rest of the evening reading. I'm going to start Wuthering Heights. I got this as a gift from my mother. It's such a beautiful edition. I tried it a couple of months ago for a few pages, but I guess I wasn't ready for it back then, and now I'm kind of into a reading period, so I think I can start it now. So today was really a good start of the whole implementing my routines. I pretty much did all my non-negotiables. I feel like this was such a good life reset, just because I really know what my goals are now, and I know how to implement them on like a daily small basis, because I like to take small steps. So yeah, I'm ready for September. I'm ready for a new era, and let me know in the comments if you're going back to school or going back to work or whatever you're going to do. I'm really interested to know. So I really hope you learned something from this video, or that this video helped you in some way. Let me know down below what your goals are for the next few months, maybe until 2024 is over. And yeah, again, thank you for being here. I really appreciate all of you, and I hope to see you in the next video as well.